Hello Morbid Maniacs, it's time for another spooky video, and for tonight's spooky video I am going to be making another Haunted West Virginia video. This place is a place I used to go to all the time when I was younger. I would like to say that it's no longer like what it used to be. It has, changed in some ways, some big ways, but creepy factor I'm sure is still there. But it's at a place that supposedly was haunted called the Sunrise Museum. It's no longer the Sunrise Museum because just recently I think it was turned into a law office or something like that. It does have, a special place to my heart because I used to go there all the time, and I do have a childhood, what I would like to call a paranormal experience there. So yeah, I'm very excited about making this video, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. The Sunrise Museum was a museum for over 40 years, and I remember when I was a little girl, I went to elementary school, they would take us there every single year for a field trip. And I look forward to going there every single year. The museum was huge and it had so many cool things in there. I just really enjoyed going to this museum. As a child, I heard that it was haunted. And that just made me like it more because it reminded me of one of my favorite holidays, which was Halloween. You guys know how obsessed I am with Halloween. Ever since I was a child, I was obsessed with Halloween. So the Sunrise Carriage Trail is a trail that is connected to the C&O train depot. It was the home of the 9th governor of West Virginia, William McCorkle. During construction of this mansion, a road which is now called Bridge Road seemed to be too steep for the oxen to carry their materials, so they decided to use this trail especially for that use. It is now owned by a local law firm, and the museum was actually built in 1905, and it's said to be haunted by William McCorkle himself. The trail is said to be very haunted around the Sunrise Museum. Supposedly, there is a cold spot somewhere along the trail, which people found to be very eerie, and I always heard of this when I was younger, but there was a statue that used to be there. Apparently, every Halloween at midnight, this statue would cry blood. And I don't know about you guys, but the look of the old angel statues and just statues in general always gave me an eerie feeling, and they've just always creeped me out, and I've always found them to be beautiful in an odd way as well. I always heard that ever since I was little. The statue was actually placed there as a memorial for William McCorkle's daughter Isabel, who passed away in 1926 due to a car accident. Unfortunately, this monument had been removed since then because of vandalism, but there is an outer part of the statue, or that, at least that's what I got from what I read, and people believe that the ashes of William McCorkle might still be there. And another interesting part to this story was during the Civil War, there were two females who were being accused of being Confederate spies, and apparently, their bodies had been buried somewhere throughout this trail. So during construction of the trail in 1905, they found these two women's bodies and they moved them to a different location. But at the base of the trail, they have a memorial for these two women, whose names unfortunately were lost throughout history somewhere. What's even creepier is that McCorkle died at Sunrise Museum in 1930. So one good thing about this museum is that most of its belongings and, all of the exhibits and stuff in there were moved to another museum, which is in Charleston, and that is called the Clay Center. Yeah, and I did have what I would like to call a paranormal experience there when I was a little kid. As I said, we went there every single year on a field trip, and it was a lot of fun. Every single year I looked forward to going there, and just the fact that it was haunted, it always blew my mind when I was a kid. Like, I always wanted my parents to take me up there in the middle of the night, just so we could drive around there and just see if we seen any ghosts outside of our window or something. I don't know, I've always been fascinated by this kind of stuff. First grade or second grade, one of those years. And I remember they took us on a field trip to the Sunrise Museum. We stayed there all day. It was a lot of fun. And they had this one room in there. It's very hard for me to describe, but it was like an all dark room, and it had like these white walls all around it, and then it had this little timer that was kind of like a camera, and it would count down, and after so long it would take a picture and it would flash. And if you went up against the wall and you did like a certain expression with your body on the wall, I don't know, I'm like trying to describe it for you guys, it would like make that imprint of your shadow onto the wall. And my friends had came in there a couple of times with me, but I remember at one point, you know, I was in there by myself because I spent like the entire day in that room just because I thought it was so cool for some reason. I remembered I was up against one part of the wall. I was playing around with the camera room, and I was by myself. The camera went off, the flash went off, and, you know, I stepped away, and my shadow was a part of the wall. But also, right beside me, on the wall, was yet another shadow. Now, I know I was a little kid, and I could have, you know, thought that I seen something, and really nothing was there. I don't know, I just felt it very odd, and I knew about my mom telling me that it was haunted, so, you know, maybe I could have exaggerated something in my mind, or maybe I could have actually experienced something, because I know whenever you are young, you know, you're more likely to attract spirits and things like that to you. So what I seen, was it paranormal, was it not? I don't know, but I still felt it very creepy. And I remember, I think I made my friend Sarah, who I'm still friends with to this day, go back in the room with me because I was so afraid of being in there alone, but I thought it was so cool and I couldn't stop playing with it. Like, that definitely describes me. Like, I'm so fascinated by creepy, morbid, scary things, but every once in a while I do get freaked out and I don't want to be alone, but yet I still want to, you know, research on it. It interests me. But yeah, there was my little paranormal experience. I know that there wasn't much, but I was just always so fascinated by this museum, and I remembered that, you know, in the middle of the night when you would drive up there, and just in the day, like, it just had this eerie feeling around it. And not meaning that it was bad, like, I don't think that there was anything really bad around it. It could have just been like good spirits trying to get our attention, but it just had a very eerie vibe. Like, you could tell that there was something still lingering there. However, I still found the story very cool, and I thought that I would share it with you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a big ol' thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and become a morbid maniac. And feel free to leave me a comment if you live in West Virginia. I know there are a few out there who do that watch my channel, and one of them is called Fuzz TV, I think. So have you guys ever been to the Sunrise Museum? I'd love to know. Have you had any paranormal experiences there? Like I said, it's no longer called the Sunrise Museum, and unfortunately you can no longer go there as a museum. But like, before it turned into a law firm, like, did you ever go there and experience anything? Please let me know, and I would love to go there if I can. Like, I don't want to, you know, get on private property that I'm not supposed to be on and get in trouble. But I would love to go there and just, like, sit in my car and get a spirit box or something and, like, try to communicate with William McCorkle or his daughter Isabel. So maybe that'll be a video in the future if I can make it happen. We'll see. But yeah, and one thing I wanted to show you guys before I left was I actually have an article about the Sunrise Museum, and this is what it looks like. Part of the trail right there. As you can see, it's very beautiful in the fall time. That's when it's the creepiest in my opinion, because it's so close to Halloween. And I remember when I was a little kid, like, I always wanted to go there on Halloween night and see that statue, Cry Blood. Like, That was one of my ultimate goals, and unfortunately I never got to do that, but we'll see what happens. I guess I will see you guys in my next video.